as you get a look inside the Mercedes. The NFL season has hit high gear, and off we go in Week 11 on EA Sports. This will make it into the end zone, and he opts to not bring this one out. The first drive will start at the 25. The Saints offense now getting set here and leading them out in what could be his final NFL season. The game's all-time leading passer, that's Drew Brees.
Okay, I thought there was something to build on in last week's game by his performance. I thought he played fairly well overall. The numbers won't knock your socks off. 2 touchdown passes and an interception. The bottom line, though, they lost.
Yeah.
How does he eliminate that one interception, continue to take care of the ball, and maybe increase the number of times he puts the ball in the end zone with a receiver?
And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. 13 yards on the game's opening play. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. From the gun, it's Brees. Taken in by the tight end, Doyle. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. Consecutive catches for him. That good for 11.
1st and 10 at the 49-yard line.
First carry for Nick Chubb. And he's over midfield and into Falcon territory.
Chubb, the ball carrier.
5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down.
A gain of 5 brings up 2nd and 5.
Working from the gun, it's Brees. And his throw is incomplete. Good coverage that time by Derwin James. They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass.
And that's a nice job there because you've got to play the ball, not the man when in coverage. That'll keep you away from a lot of needless penalties. And he's able to knock that one away.
Catch number 40 for him on the year. It's a 1st down. Nice job keeping that opening drive alive. And they're in plus territory, that part of the field where you really want to convert on 3rd down. They did.
Big time pickup for them. And now I think the aggressive play callers think to themselves, this part of the field, I take my shot at the end zone. Because the closer you get to the end zone, the field gets condensed. Makes it a lot tougher to run those routes. You still got a chance to actually run past people right now. Take your shot at the end zone early in the down and distance count.
On 1st down, they'll run with Chubb. Just a yard on the 1st down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Yeah, things were pretty stacked up there in the middle of the line. A lot of bodies, not much space. I think ultimately he was fortunate to get anything out of that run.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. To throw is Brees. Looking left sideline, but it's incomplete. The 25-yard line is what they need here. This is 3rd down.
9 yards to go.
Shotgun now for Brees. Now he'll let it go deep right side. And he's got him. It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. Jack Doyle, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Saints have taken the early lead.
And that was a beautiful ball right there as he waited for his tight end to come uncovered in the end zone. So give him points for patience as well. Delivered it right where it needed to be for 6 points.
Rosas on for the extra point. And it's good as the Saints have a 7-0 lead. Now after the touchdown, here's Rosas on to kick it away. Fielded a couple yards into the end zone. And they'll get him down right at the 25-yard line, so the same result, and he opted for the touchback. So here are the Falcons now as they get set for their opening possession. And we get a glance here at their leader, the man who will be calling the plays under center.
You talk about the pause that refreshes. I think it's come at a perfect time of the year for them, hasn't it? You know, the season is starting to wind down, got a little bit of a break. But how about the guy calling the signals? He's got to be excited about that because now he didn't just get a game plan for 1 week. He was able to work on it for 2 weeks. I can't wait to see if they have anything special in store for him today.
Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's 2nd and a yard from the 34. Here's a play fake as they set up to throw.
Brandon, to me, what's important right here on this drive is for them to get at least 2 first downs. They've got to give their defense a chance to settle down, catch their breath a little bit after they give up a touchdown on the opening drive.
4 yards the pickup, first down. Now a throw here, hauled in. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. Rookie to rookie on the hook up there, and it's a first down.
First down.
In so many ways, throwing the hitch route is actually one of the safer things an offense can do. Get the ball out to the receiver as fast as possible, hope he's got man-to-man coverage, and hope that his athleticism wins on the perimeter.
So in Saints territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 47. He'll get about 4 here, down to the 43-yard line.
I feel like I could see what he was thinking on that carry. Wanted to follow that big tackle through the hole. Ended up only getting 4 yards on the carry. I think he had designs on that one being bigger.
2nd and 6. Rolling to his left. He's going to take off with it. Nothing open downfield. He keeps it himself for 11 and a first down.
He was brought down by Carlton.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the 3rd one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. Wide open receiver, complete. And he'll get this one down to about the 20-yard line. Same exact result as last play, a pickup of 11. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. That's going to be caught at the 10-yard line. And the Falcons are going to have a 1st and goal coming up as the tackle made at the 3-yard line. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling. How about the start throwing the football? 4 for 4 on this opening drive.
Oh, he's slinging it. And oftentimes when you talk about slinging it, you're thinking about a guy throwing it all over the yard, not necessarily accurately. In this case, though, he's honing in on his targets, and he's delivering.
Yeah, the opening script, however they drew it up for this first drive, going to plan so far. 1st and goal, and a chance to get that initial touchdown right back. Now back to throw. And this is caught for a Falcon touchdown. Max Williams, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. Now the Falcons are an extra point away from tying the football game. Those are the drives that prove a lot. You got a rookie quarterback, Charles. You're on the road, takes him down, throws the touchdown pass.
And in a game like this, with, as you described, a rookie quarterback, the team usually says, okay, we got to take care of this guy. We got to protect him. But when he goes out and plays like this on the first drive on the road, he doesn't have to say, I'm here to be your leader. They just need to follow him.
Dustin Hopkins on now to add the extra point. It's up and good. So these teams match touchdowns here in the first quarter, and we're tied 7-7. Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away. This will make it into the end zone. And this will come out to the 25 as Jones elects for the touchback. New Orleans Saints, they get ready to set up shop for their 2nd drive. Good drive last time. Really effective passing the football. Do you maybe mix it up, now go to the ground game and surprise the defense a little bit?
I would anticipate the defense making some changes, but I wouldn't necessarily just absolutely go in the opposite direction. They're doing so well throwing the ball.
Yeah, why?
I wouldn't change it up until they showed me a reason to do so.
7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. Throwing again on 2nd down. Breeze. He's got Jack Doyle. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. Now after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back. 1st and 10. Here's Breeze. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down.
Incomplete. It leads to 2nd and 10.
Breeze will try again on 2nd down. Toward the left sideline, but it's incomplete. Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions.
3rd down and 10 yards to go.
Again, it's Breeze. He's going to let one go deep. It's caught inside the 25. And he is going to have a Saints 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. 33 yards that time. It's a great throw right there. And really showed a lot of confidence in his receiver.
He certainly did. Ball was in the air a long time, but he counted on the adjustment that we saw near the end of the play. As that ball was descending, who was going to come down with it? He counted on his guy, and he gambled correctly.
So the big play gets him all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. From the gun, it's a give to Chubb. And able to get about 3 as he's taken down right at the 20. 2nd and 7 with our score tied at 7, but they're planning to change that soon. Only question, will they get 3 or 6 out of it? And throw right side complete to Parker. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line.
Parker brings up 3rd down.
Play number 7 coming on this drive. It's 3rd and inches. They'll run for it. Here's Chubb. And he gets the 1st down yardage before he's brought down just outside the 10 at the 11. It'll be a 2-yard gain, and it'll give him a fresh set of downs.
On 3rd down, that's a good job of situational football and understanding where the 1st down marker was and getting there.
Now a 1st and 10 at the 11. Now Breeze. This is caught. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down.
I think a lot of people ask the same question all the time. Why do we see so many slants in the red zone? Well, the windows are tighter. Everything's more condensed. It has to be quicker, and you've got to deliver the ball on time. Your biggest...
And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. Nick Chubb, his 9th touchdown of the season. And the Saints have taken the lead.
I know the play ends up in the end zone with one person carrying the ball, but how about that big mass of humanity that guided him to that spot?
Yeah, they got there, but I love the dive. Always a fan of the dive. Rosas to add the extra point. It's up and good, and it's 14-7 now here in the 1st quarter. So the drive goes 75 yards, 10 plays. And Nick Chubb, the one to finish it off, as he does so with a touchdown run. Now after the touchdown, here's Rosas on to kick it away. That'll be taken about a yard deep. And he returns this to the 22.
1st and 10 at their own 22-yard line.
So for the 2nd time in this one, we get set to see the Falcons offense. And they had to wait a long time to get the football back. Probably not what you were hoping for when you got an offense that's humming.
Agreed. What you were looking for is the defense getting the ball back pretty quickly, right? Hoping for a 3 and out. So that didn't happen. You can't yell at your D for that. They've got to take care of their own business and reestablish themselves now that they're back on the field.
They go over the middle, and it's complete to start the drive. That catch good for only a couple.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of 1st downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on first down. From the shotgun now, here's an inside give. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. No gain on the play, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down.
A quick observation, Brandon, because early on in this game, I'm seeing linebackers putting up their noses close to the line of scrimmage.
And my guess is the wheels are turning on that other sideline. As a play caller, you're filing that away right now, aren't you?
Yeah, you're trying to find that opportunity later on when you can play action them or stick something to them between the 2nd and the 3rd level.
Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the first down. In this case, it didn't happen.
On is the punt team now as this one's sent away. And no one there to stop it. Hits at the 8, but it carries all the way into the end zone for a touchback. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. And they'll be looking to build off of a nice drive last time, a drive that really relied on the quarterback.
Making good decisions, distributing the ball well, distributing it accurately, keeping it away from danger. A really nicely run drive.
But now the defense, what adjustments do they need to make in the pass? And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. But this will fortunately wind up out of bounds.
I don't know about you, but I could hear and feel the sigh of relief all the way up here in our booth.
That was palpable. The sideline, the friend there.
No doubt about it. Ball goes over the sideline, able to retain possession, no turnover. I know his coaches are screaming, just hang on to the ball, man.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. Here's Breeze to throw. And he gets it to his running back, Nick Chubb. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. So apparently some grabbing there in the middle of the O-line.
I've often wondered why that doesn't happen more often for guys that play center. Having to snap the ball and then trying to get your hands into the proper position, that's difficult to do. He got caught that time.
And he was hit as he threw it there, and it forces it incomplete. Throwing on 2nd and 14. Breeze. Got his man. That's Tyrell Williams. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. 16 yards, a first down.
1st and 10 at the 47-yard line.
Quick throw caught by Godwin. And they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. He was unable to shake free there, and they'll cover him for a loss of a yard. Through one quarter, 14-7 our score.
Saints 14, Falcons 7.
Again, they'll throw with Breeze. Looking left sideline, incomplete.
Pass incomplete on the throwaway. Brings up 3rd down and the 11th.
The Saints on 3rd down. A perfect 4 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 11. Breeze to throw again. Under pressure here, and down he goes. Sacked back at about the 43-yard line.
How about that? A dying set on defense. 6 defensive backs, none of them blitz. They're just back there in coverage. Defensive lineman gets the sack.
That's where the O-line, they go to the sideline, they keep their helmets on so the cameras can't find them, right?
Yeah, the cameras can't find them, but I know one thing, the O-line coach will.
So on fourth down, on is the punter, Pat O'Donnell, to kick it away. And this one hits at the 1, continues on into the end zone for a touchback. The Falcons offense set to go. And last time out, they had to punt the football away. Anything positive possibly to take from that?
There always is when you're punting the football away. It doesn't sound like it because you're giving it up, but you've avoided a mistake.
At least you didn't turn it over.
You didn't turn it over, right? You're giving your defense a chance because you're punting the ball away and they're set to go on the field as opposed to sudden change after a turnover. Wow, now we got to go out there and stop people. So, yeah, there's always something positive to be gained from it.
From the 26, they'll line up on 2nd and 4.
He decided to run a hitch route. It really helps to have a guy who can turn it loose. And, boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. 7 yards there and a first down.
32-yard line. A gain of 7. First down.
They'll set up to throw. And the Saints pressure gets him. Brought down for a sack. Well, for last week's performance, which was so good, he was named NFC Defensive Player of the Week. He got a lot of praise, and understandably so, from national media. Looking pretty good on that play, too.
And I love what he told us this week before the game. He talked about how much time they spend working on pass rush moves, every position, because anyone could go after the quarterback in their defense, and you can see how they've all absorbed their lessons.
Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on 2nd down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
And he is going to lose yardage here.
I love the intelligence the defense just showed there. Read their keys, saw the screen developing, ran to it, and smothered it. What a 3rd down stop by them.
Here's Jamie Gillen now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. Jones on the return. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Saints will take over with a first down and 10. Drew Brees getting ready to go again on offense. He's played a pretty clean first half, a touchdown, no interceptions.
Frankly, that's what they expect out of him. They want to see the ball thrown and thrown well, and he's able to do that and put it in the end zone. They'd love to see more of that before this game finishes. But right now, he's got his team in a good spot.
A good spot, maybe looking for touchdown pass number 2 here in the 2nd quarter. A solid run on first down, gain of 7, leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
Brings up 2nd and 3.
A run for Nick Chubb, and he'll scratch out only about a yard up to the 32. The Saints on 3rd down. They've been near perfect, 4 for 5 to this point. Here it's 3rd and 2. The good run on first down followed up by a not-so-good run on 2nd down.
Now let's find out if they're going to stick with the run here on 3rd down. A lot of people would love to see some play action here. I say go with your best running play over your best blocking. None of these runs individually have added up to a whole lot.
Now 3 plays, all 3 short runs, but together a first down.
Yeah, it's amazing how the narrative changes when you string them together.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Now they'll throw with Brees. They set up the screen to Chubb. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. Despite the completion, they're going to wind up losing 3 there. 2nd down.
You know what the key to a good screen pass is, don't you?
But you're going to tell me, good blocking?
Well, good blocking eventually. But first is good acting. You want to let the defenders go past you, leak out to whichever side or even in the middle where you want to set up the screen, and then you do your blocking. How about the read, though, by the defensive guys? They weren't fooled at all and actually ran with the lineman to where the play was and smothered it for a loss of yardage.
They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for third down. And with that completion, he's now north of 200 yards here in the first half. Boy, a tough start for the secondary defensively.
It is, and it's got to put a dent in their confidence. And, you know, you always want to keep that up and feel like you can always bounce back after plays. But with the kind of numbers he's putting up here, it's starting to wear on them a little bit, I think. So they're looking at each other and trying to figure out what defense will work and how can they play better without getting beat deep for big passes. Another catch for him there on this drive, Brandon, and it looks like they're going to utilize him out of the backfield any way they can. And that time they pick up a first down. So now on defense, you assign a man to him and try and cover him before he gets going.
From Falcon territory now, here's 1st and 10 at the 47. Now Chubb. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down.
The tackle made at the 44-yard line. 4 yards on the pickup. 2nd and 6.
Breeze now to throw. Looking left sideline, but it's incomplete.
Breeze pass. Thrown away and incomplete. Derwin James on the coverage.
And the line to gain here is the 37 on 3rd down. There's Breeze. Trying to lay one up deep. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
Well, the first 2 drives yielded touchdowns, so there's no reason for them to feel like they have to pull back on the reins. They pushed it downfield, looking for another one right there. Didn't get it, but we know they're going to continue to be bold.
Getting set to go again as we look at the back, heading onto the field again. They've given him some touches. They haven't had a lot of success on the ground. Do you maybe keep going to that well, or do you mix it up more?
I think you mix it up more, try and loosen things up. Get the defense to react to other people, other plays, but don't forget about it. That's your horse. You know, Secretariat lost twice in his career.
So educational. That's very true, kids. Look it up. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
Yes, indeed. That play there, that reminds me of some of the guys that I played with that have that suddenness, able to get into the backfield almost about the time the ball snapped and make a play. How about that tackle for a loss?
Absolutely. He did a lot of that last week when he was named the NFC Defensive Player of the Week. One of the guys on the team would say, hey, yeah, we called him the disruptor, and that's carrying forward again.
Makes sense, doesn't it?
From the shotgun now, here's an inside give. He'll be dropped at the 25 after a gain of 6.
The 25-yard line. It's a gain of 6. And it's 3rd down.
They'll look to throw. And this is going to be incomplete.
It certainly didn't appear that that's where he wanted to go with the ball initially, so he tried to get something out of it by dumping it off to his running back unsuccessfully.
Yeah, that's a 48-yard punt with a coverage holding him to 3 on the return. The offense trots back out there. Let's turn our focus now to Nick Chubb. At his current pace, sure looks well in line for a 1,000-yard season, but some of the older folks watching that remember the 12-game seasons in the NFL probably say, man, it was a lot harder to do that back then.
Yeah, even the 14-game seasons. And, you know, when we talk to those veteran runners, some of those guys who wear gold jackets, right, and appear in Canton, they look at this and go, you know, it's kind of like going to school and taking 5 years to get your degree instead of just 4.
A victory lap. Well, they also used to walk uphill to school both ways.
In the snow.
In the snow.
Blizzards.
Milk was 5 cents. Hey, but he's having a great year, not to take anything away from it. Breeze now on 1st down. He'll get this to Chubb out of the backfield. The completion, but they go in the wrong direction. A loss of yards, and now they're dealing with a 2nd and long. 2nd and 12 after the first down pass play went backwards for 2 yards. Well, they tried to swing it out left into the flat, complete, but really nice open field tackling.
And they played that one like a great boxer. They were on their toes on that one. They weren't back on their heels reacting to the play. No, they saw it, came right for it, and made a nice tackle for lost yardage.
4 yards to go.
Now Breeze on 3rd down. That's out to Chubb, complete. And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40. That one good for only 6, and it leaves him with a 4th down.
We can make this one pretty simple. Locked up all of his progressions downfield, forced to get it to his running back. But how about the way they ran to the football and knocked it down to force a 4th down?
Here's Pat O'Donnell now as he's on to punt for New Orleans. 44 on his first punt, and this is a good kick as well. Oh, and what a play on special teams here. This is going to be down inside the 5, all the way down at the 2-yard line.
And he's got to be fired up about that effort. I don't think he could have walked down and placed it any better than where he ended up putting the football. That was excellent.
Now out comes their leader and the captain of this offense back onto the field. Been a decent start for him here in this first half, but they're losing. And I think as the captain of the offense, you probably always feel like you need to do more in that situation.
The best have always felt that way, and they won't settle for anything less. So right now his goal is to increase what he's doing on the field, try to make sure his teammates come along with him, and he feels like if I do better, everyone will do better. And that's what we're seeing from him right now. Got to have a little extra determination.
Yeah, a little extra determination. He has thrown the touchdown pass, no interceptions for him personally to this point. And space opened up a bit. He's able to take this up past the 10. So not quite out of danger just yet. Still backed up a bit, but only need a few inches here on 2nd down. And again, they'll go right back to their fullback. And he will take this up to about the 8-yard line. 3 yards on the pickup. That's going to set up an interesting 3rd and about 4 to go.
Brings up 3rd down.
Back to throw. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this across the 25-yard line. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. Now he'll pull it down. He'll have a 1st down past the 40. And he takes it all the way up to the 47. Able to find a lot of empty space there, picking up the 1st down and a 21-yard gain.
Now those are the ones that hurt defensively. You do everything right. Excellent pressure, good coverage downfield, and then he slips out the back door and turns it into a nice gain.
A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last 2 plays. And he is out of bounds inside the 35. Catch number 40 for him on the year. It's a 1st down.
1st down.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. Dancing to his left. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Now the Falcons going to use one of their timeouts as the clock stops here with 46 seconds remaining in the first half. Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on 2nd down. And he's got his man out of the backfield. That's complete. The Falcons going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. And it's going to be incomplete. He was able to catch it there on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. And it's going to bring up 4th down.
You tell they wanted to get that ball downfield, but they had nothing working in the secondary, so he dropped it off to the running back. That one ended up incomplete.
1st and 10. At their own 20-yard line.
The offense trots back out there. Let's turn our focus now to Nick Chubb. A good job in the passing game, decent job in the running game, but really they've been more effective through the air. We'll see if that shifts at all as this goes on.
Thus far, it feels like they're calling this game in reverse. Normally, you run to set up the pass. Here, it feels like they're passing, hoping to set up the run and be more effective later on in the game.
Yeah, you can do it both ways. We usually talk about it in the reverse, however.
No doubt about it.
1st and 10 at the 30-yard line.
A final shot before half for Breeze. Taken in by the tight end, Doyle. So we have reached halftime with a touchdown. That's the difference on the scoreboard. As we'll get you over to Orlando, where standing by is Jonathan Coachman. He has our EA Sports halftime report.
All right, Brandon, thank you very much. The NFL season going to be about 2/3 complete after this weekend, so lots to get to as we check out what's going on here in Week 11. We'll begin up at Bank of America Stadium in Uptown Charlotte, and they are seconds away from halftime, all tied in that one. From there, we'll head to Cleveland to check on the Browns at home at First Energy Stadium. And they have the lead in that one over the visiting Philadelphia Eagles. 2 touchdown passes there for Russell Wilson. Finally, let's get down to Houston. Check on the Texans at home at NRG Stadium. And they currently trail in that game against the visiting Patriots. The Pats seem to be on their way to what would be a good victory. In our game, it was the right arm of Drew Brees that led the way in the first half. He's thrown for over 200 yards already, and his guys have the lead as well. As we get you back to Brandon Gaudin.
Okay, Coach, appreciate it. A 1-touchdown game here as we get set to resume play in the second half. Set now to go for the third quarter. The Saints have the lead and set to receive the kick. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line.
1st and 10 at their own 26-yard line.
Atlanta prepped and readied for its next possession. We have not seen much on offense from either side. These last few drives, it has been a struggle, hasn't it?
Totally, and you're thinking to yourself right now, if you're on offense trying to get things figured out, okay, we self-scout every week in our game plan. How many things do we do at certain times? What are our tendencies? Time to go to some of those tendency breakers and try and create some offense.
They always have those in their back pocket, don't they?
You have to. And if you don't keep abreast of what you're doing, you lock into a rhythm and make it easy for the opposition.
Looking for tendency breakers right now. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. Quick hitter here, it's complete. That catch good for only a couple. So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on 1st down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
6 yards there off the scramble, but it'll still leave him with a 3rd down.
A gain of 6 yards.
And to give this time to the tailback. And they'll work this down to the 40-yard line, tackled there. It's a gain of 13 and a 1st down for Atlanta.
Yeah, they really needed to get something going, didn't they? They had punted on the last 2 possessions. The running game starting to come to the front for them, providing a nice pickup there to keep this drive going.
So in Saints territory now. Here's 1st and 10 right at the 40. They're going to look to throw. Flushed out right. Give him a couple on the scramble. It's 2nd down.
Looked to me like they adopted what my kindergarten teacher always said. If at first you don't succeed, try again. And finally, able to hold him in check. He'd been carving him up running the ball.
That's the first time I think I've seen where the coverage was good downfield and they accounted for him and stopped him for a short pickup.
Yeah, I don't think it was a big adjustment, but much more emphasis on making sure they knew where he was when he decided to take off and go.
And he's going to lose a yard or 2. Taken down behind the line.
Quarterback sack.
And on that one, the protection just broke down.
You've got to have that leverage, don't you? We always talk about low man wins in the running game for an offensive lineman versus a defensive lineman. It's essentially the same thing in pass protection. Get lower than that defensive lineman so that you can keep your balance and keep him away from your guy trying to throw the football.
Here's Dustin Hopkins now to try the field goal. He's going to need a little mustard on this one. It will be a 51-yard attempt. That's running out of steam, and it won't get there. He left it just short. No good. And this score will stay right where it is.
Falcons 7.
So here are the Saints to take over. They were losers last time out to the 49ers, but right now they're on the right side of the scoreboard as they start out 1st and 10. Well, listen, now no kick from 50-plus is a gimme, but here you're indoors in a dome. You'd think ideal conditions.
Yeah, and it's one that he would expect himself to make, not just us expecting him to make it. Over the years, my theory is very simple. The athletic ability of kickers continues to get better and better. Check their backgrounds. They were all county, all state, at other positions, not just soccer players. These guys expect themselves to be great as well.
4 yards the pickup, 1st down.
1st and 10 at the 47-yard line.
From the gun, it's Breeze. Oh, there's that man again. It's complete. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. He'll get 15 and a Saints 1st down.
And what a nice example there of a tight end doing exactly what he needs to do. How about how he worked his way to the outside, made sure he secured the catch, and then anything after that, we count that as a bonus. And indeed, he gets enough for the 1st down.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Now Breeze. He's got Jack Doyle, and he gets it all the way down inside the 10 and mark him at the 5. A very solid gain of 27.
And that was good protection there. No, that was great protection there because it allowed him to lock in on his receiver. Although I think he was looking for his tight end on the corner route all the way. Nice connection there for a really nice gain.
2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. They'll run with Chubb, and he'll take it into the end zone for the Saints touchdown. Nick Chubb, his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Saints able to stretch that lead out further. Always important to get the first score in the 2nd half. Now you start to pull away a little bit and get some breathing room going.
And now we find out about the fortitude of the group that's behind, because they were counting on getting into the game a little bit more, right? Maybe they get the first score. That doesn't happen. It looks almost insurmountable, but it's not. Let's see how hard they play the rest of the game.
It's good, and it is now 21-7. 5 plays there on that drive. And Nick Chubb, the one to finish it off, as he does so with a touchdown run. After the touchdown, here's Rosas on to kick it away. Taking it about the 1. And he won't quite make it to the 25.
The Falcons take over 1st and 10 at their own 24-yard line.
Now the Falcons offense, they get ready to head back out here. Last time out, they had that long 50-plus yard field goal that they missed.
And I'm sure on their sideline, they're thinking to themselves, okay, do we still want to try one if we're in that position again? And I would dare say that the answer would be yes. They're going to have a lot of confidence in their kicker. But just to be on the safe side, I'm sure they told their offensive guys, can we get a little bit closer this time?
Closer.
Yeah, you know, I'd rather get in the end zone first and foremost. But if all else fails, less of a field goal attempt for him.
And now we'll get a stoppage here. There appears to be an injured Falcon on the field. While the trainers take a look, we'll step aside. The previous run, good for 9. Here's second and a yard. A give to the fullback on the dive. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. A gain of just a yard, but it's a first down.
A gain of a yard. First down, Falcons.
From the shotgun now, here's an inside give. He'll get about 4 as he's past the 35 to the 38-yard line. Following the pickup of 4, here's second and 6.
It's now second and 6.
Looking middle, and that's complete.
The pass.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on third down. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he's got a first down as he's up to the 48. Give him the third down conversion, 5 yards on the play.
I don't know about you, but that almost felt like old-time football there. 3rd and 2 is not necessarily just a running down anymore. A lot of times they want to throw the ball. They went back to the roots and powered forward and got the first down.
Two first downs have him up near midfield now on 1st and 10. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. And a quick throw here, that's complete. 7 yards, the pickup there.
To number 5. A 7-yard pickup brings up second and 3 at the Saints' 45-yard line.
Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. Now a handoff here to his running back. And good running, going to get this down close to a first at the Saints' 39. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down.
I'm okay with the call there. In fact, I actually like it. I know they're down a couple of scores, but the running game worked in that situation. I would continue to go in that direction.
Now this one to his tight end out on the right side. No gain there on the completion. 2nd and 10. Inside 4 minutes to go. 3rd quarter. And to give this time to the tailback. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4.
That's a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. Losing 2 yards that time, and now it's 4th down.
You got to figure the further they fall behind, the more you think that they'll get away from the run. They're trying to stick with it, but the results, they just aren't there.
So out comes a field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. He's going to need a little mustard on this one. It will be a 51-yard attempt. And I don't think this has the carry. It does not. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is.
21. Falcons 7.
Getting set to go again here. The Saints and Drew Brees march out there again on offense. How do you break down his game so far? Just the 1 touchdown pass, but sometimes the touchdown pass stat category, that doesn't tell the whole story.
It really doesn't. Not until you balance it with the error side. You know, and in this case, he hasn't thrown any interceptions.
Pressure brought in, and the Falcons get there for the sack.
Taken down.
And that was just absolute perfect man coverage. Nowhere for them to go. The footpath led to a sack. That's really difficult to do in today's NFL with all these gazelles running around that you're trying to cover in the secondary.
Now following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. Another try after the first down sack. Brees. And he's got his favorite target yet again. It's complete. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. That one good for 17 as they're set up better now for third down. And that last reception puts him over 150 yards. So tough to cover a big tight end like that.
It changes the chalk, as one of my coaches like to say, meaning the normal things don't apply. You used to say, okay, there's a tight end going out. We're either going to put a big linebacker on him or maybe a safety and call it a day. Now, because of the strength of that position and the sheer number of catches that they make as well as their dexterity, sometimes you have to put a cornerback on him because he might be the primary guy going out for a pass. It changes what they do defensively, and it's usually not good for the defense.
They run again on first down, Chubb. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. It'll be a Saints first down on a pickup of 13.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
So they'll come up first and 10 now from the 33. They give to Chubb out of the gun. And they'll be inside the 25 now at the 24. So not quite a first down just yet as they come up on second and less than a yard. And I think we can get used to seeing more of that in this fourth quarter, especially if they're having success on the ground like they did there.
Yeah, I think back when we met with the head coach in preseason, and all he talked about was building a bully. And I think it was this situation he was envisioning. Trying to ice a game, plenty of time left, but being able to give the ball to his big runner and pound away and try and finish off a game.
4 yards the pickup, first down. On the ground, it's Chubb. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. I'll call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down.
No gain on the play. Brings up second and 10.
Throwing on second down, Breeze. He's going to find his running back. It's complete. He lost 2 there, and it's third down.
He's taken out of bounds behind the line of scrimmage.
Shotgun now for Breeze. He's going to take a shot for the end zone. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
There is something to a game plan with trying to keep a defense honest with a guy with that type of speed. You do so. Send him deep. Try and throw some air under it and hope you connect downfield. On that play, they run successful.
Rosas' kick is good. And that'll push the lead up to 17.
Makes the score Saints 24, Falcons 7.
So with that, you figure this game's pretty much out of reach at this point.
Yeah, it's going to take a heck of a comeback to come from 3 scores down, but don't change that channel. Don't go away. Miracles can happen, and you want to be here in case it does.
You're a company man.
Aren't I, though?
At their own 21-yard line.
Here are the Falcons as their offense heads back onto the field. They were coming off the extra week of rest, but this team started sluggish, and it really didn't get any better from there, and trailing big here in this fourth quarter. They'll come out throwing here on first down. And nowhere to fit that football in. It's knocked away and incomplete.
Intended for his wideout. Makes it second and 10 at the 21-yard line.
His throw incomplete.
Well, so far in this drive, they've done some good work. They force incompletions on first and second down, bring up third and 10. That brings up the big question. Do they bring pressure or do they play coverage on this down?
The Falcons on third down. They've converted a third of their opportunities, 3 for 9. This is third and 10. They'll drop to throw. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And that's caught inside the 35. And all the way inside the 35 before he goes out of bounds. We saw this plenty last year in college. He loved to take his shots downfield, and And that throw, that was a thing to behold there.
Well, one way or the other, you knew they'd have to push the ball downfield on 3rd and long, but I'm not sure the defense was expecting to push it that far downfield. Their math didn't add up, but it certainly did for the offense.
And that wound up traveling an even 58 yards in the air, according to Next Gen Stats. And on this challenge, the refs have to take a peek and see whether or not the receiver was able to dot the I with both feet,
while making sure that he possesses the football all the way through the catch.
And the challenge pays dividends. The ref overturns the play.
Everyone gets a bonus on this one, Brandon. The coach upstairs.
And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Different story this time around. We had that huge gain followed by a sizable loss here.
He's NFL sack leader coming into the game. And now that's 2 more that he's added to his total.
He wants some separation from spot 1 and 2 in that sack category. So after the sack, they'll come up on a still manageable 2nd and 13. Stepping up, he's going to keep it. This will be a gain of about 8 to the 27-yard line. The Falcons on 3rd down. They've converted a third of their opportunities, 3 for 9. This will be 3rd and 5. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And he's going to go down here, a sack. They push him back to the 34. And you hate to say it with a rookie quarterback. He's done some good things, but overall, looked a little bit overwhelmed back there, hasn't he?
He certainly has. But in his defense, he hadn't had a lot of time to throw the football. You like the way I said that? In his defense.
In his defense. I got it.
You see what I did there?
Yeah, he needs better protection, that's for sure. Here's Dustin Hopkins now to try the field goal. He's going to need a little mustard on this one. It will be a 51-yard attempt. And this is good. He got just enough to clear the crossbar as he drops it in from long distance. And that will close the gap down to 14. Well, with that field goal, you can argue they needed to get back within 2 scores, and they did indeed do that, but still a pretty uphill battle.
Still going to take 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns to get back into it. And as you and I know, that's a tall order against any NFL defense. They're going to need their own defense to make some plays as well to give them an opportunity.
Back out onto the field now comes the New Orleans offense. Now, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this 4th quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking first downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, first downs, they can't touch the ball.
And they work this well upfield across the 45. 23 yards, the final tally. They have the nice cushion. They just want to pour it on right now, still throwing the football.
And I know my background says, why do you need to do this? Just go ahead and run out the clock and get a win. But as many people pointed out to me, it's a video game, man. Go ahead and put the numbers up. Sportsmanship, not an issue.
Exercise those fingers. So 1 play, and they're already just shy of midfield. Chubb. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
The tackle made just shy of midfield. A gain of a yard. Brings up 2nd and 9.
Working from the gun, it's Breeze. Looking sideline, incomplete. After an incomplete pass on 2nd down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9. To throw is Breeze. Oh, incomplete. Nearly the pick they needed. They would have loved one there, but at least it does get them to 4th down.
Has to be a little bit of frustration there. Back-to-back incompletions. Receivers blanketed on both attempts, this time on 3rd down.
There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. And as we peer at the numbers, he got off to a struggling start, but since then really found his rhythm.
And I think that comes together with not just the halftime adjustments, but just that quiet confidence. If you just keep doing the things you've been working on, eventually there will be creases. You know, find those gaps in the defense, keep working on them, and maybe what didn't happen very well for you in the beginning of the game, it starts to open up as the game moves on.
Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
From the shotgun now, here's an inside give. Showed some flash on the run, but he will be brought down shy of his 10. Good work to pick up 7 yards there. That gets him into a 3rd and 1 situation. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
4th quarter, every drive so critical, and you figure may only get one more shot after this, so a touchdown's imperative on this drive.
It is, but you also have to think to yourself in play calling, don't hold anything back. Don't save it for the 2nd touchdown. You got the 1st one for the 2nd one to even matter.
So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18. Now back to throw. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Solomon Thomas getting him once again, his 3rd sack of the afternoon.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on 2nd down. On the move to his left. And he's going to keep it here. Pretty nice gain on the scramble. Gets him 12 yards. I thought they were going to sack him there like they did on 1st down. Great coverage, but he found a way to move with his legs.
Yeah, his ability to take off. Not only did he get some yardage back, he got a little bit extra. Really helps him on 3rd down. Makes it manageable now.
Out of the gun now on 3rd down. He may try and run for this. Maybe not exactly what they had in mind, but that scramble good for 6 and a 1st down.
6. And the Falcon 1st down.
Looking to throw. Forced out to his left. And now he's going to use his legs. Nice work to get 7 out of that, and it's 2nd down.
A gain of 7 brings up 2nd and 3 at the 36-yard line.
Out to his left. He'll try and run it. All that gets him is just a yard, and now it's 3rd down.
So many times we talk about having good eye discipline when you're playing defense, making sure your eyes are in the proper place on a given play. Looks like that discipline came to the front there, didn't it? They were able to hold him for a short gain when he took off running.
They'll go to the air here on 3rd and 2. And he's got his man on the out route. And he'll be out of bounds up near the 45 at the 44.
It's a gain of 6.
A nice 1st down pickup on a gain of 6. He'll look to throw. And in a 2-score game, obviously, every play, every 3rd down, like we saw there, magnified. Big pickup.
It was a huge pickup. What they really want, though, is to not even get to 3rd down. They've got to maximize time and conserve as much as possible.
Not only another 1st down, that also puts him over 100 yards rushing.
That's not something you see very often in the NFL. We see it more in college. But I think with more of the melding of the college game with quarterbacks, we'll see this a little bit more often in the future.
So in Saints territory now. Here's 1st and 10 right at the 40. From the shotgun now, here's an inside give. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
A 7-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 3 at the 33-yard line.
From the shotgun now, here's an inside give. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. 11 yards there, first down.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run, got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
Saw it through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now. First down, he'll drop to throw it. He's going to take off with it. It won't be a sack, but it's no gain, and it brings up second down. And now we'll get a stoppage here. There appears to be an injured Falcon on the field. Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside. And this will probably be the final play before the 2-minute warning. The grab, and they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. First and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. And this is caught now for a late touchdown. So hold everything here. This one's not over yet.
I'm not sure win-win is the proper term here, but it certainly felt like it. They got the touchdown they needed, but if I'm on the defensive side of the ball, okay, you got the touchdown, but it sure took you a long time.
Yeah, because offensively there, you're probably hoping for a 1 to 5 play drive. That one ate up a little more time than they were hoping.
You're exactly right, and if you have that 1 to 5 play drive, you actually build up momentum and even more hope. When they had to slog their way downfield, they got the touchdown, but it's almost like, yeah, you know,
doesn't feel right.
Exactly.
He's got it, and it's 24-17. That drive, a long one, spanning 15 plays. And the Falcons score to cap it off. This game back within a touchdown now as the kickoff's away. That'll be taken about a yard deep. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Costs him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20.
Come on, let's get him!
The New Orleans offense set to take over. And this game not quite over yet. And we'll likely see them take all 3 timeouts defensively, so they can't just kneel this one out. They're going to have to try to run a few plays.
You're exactly right. They've got to get a first down and make them use up all their timeouts in order to feel like they have this one in hand.
They'll try and wind down some clock with Chubb. And I think this defense knew what was coming as he is smothered behind the line. And after getting tackled, he's still down and looking very slow to get up. We'll check on his status when we get back. First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. They run it again with Chubb. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. The Falcons going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. They go with Chubb on 2nd down. Shrugs the tackle.
Nice.
Falcons going to use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll get it with just over 90 seconds to go in the ball game. A pair of first downs gives them a 1st and 10 up at the 44. And they will take a knee here. On the carry, it's Chubb. And he's going to have to protect the football and take his lumps here at this stage of the game as they stop him behind the line. Now it looks like we'll get a timeout as there's a Saints player down here on the field. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break. The last two plays each lose a yard. They'll try to move forward here on 3rd and 12. The Saints in victory formation now as they'll take the knee.
Listen, anytime you take a knee to end a game, that means you've won it. So it doesn't matter whether it's home or on the road, but there's something a little extra special about doing it in front of your home crowd, isn't there?
And the home crowd applauding. They're happy with what they've seen. Chalk this one up in the left-hand column for a win.
Yeah, that's right. Head to the locker room, throw the wristbands in the crowd for the kids, your gloves, your towels. Get to share it with the home team.
And he's brought down at the 24 after a gain of 4. They'll come up 2nd and 6 now from the 24.
Brandon, we just saw the benefits of being able to run the ball successfully. They pick up 4 yards on that carry. So now if you're a play caller, you can do just about anything you want. But on the defensive side of the ball, you're scrambling a little bit. Now you're behind trying to figure out, do I need to blitz him? Do I need to pressure him? How do I gain an advantage on this snap?